Quasar Markets Live. We've got a good one today, Peter Thomas. We are talking about metals today. And look, I think everybody in the world has been talking about metals, Pete.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got a big one. You're going to talk to us because, you were the guy that got me into silver at $19 an ounce, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anybody else was playing with silver, didn't even know what the hell to do. So I'm going to get out of your hair, Pete. Tell us what's going on about silver in the markets, and I'm going to get out of your hair. Here we go.
Not a problem, Steve, and thank you for having me as always. But look at today, big day. We've all been looking for $1 silver, and all of a sudden, you wake up and it's $3 lower and $4 lower, and what's going on? Big news out of China. As you know, last week, China said we're closing the door and we're not going to allow maybe 60 or 70% of the silver. The certified held silver is not coming out of China, which comes from the refining cycle. It's very, very critical. It's not like they're major miners, but they're major refiners. So what happened was we're seeing the potential for a real choke point for silver coming out of China. And then today, which was very interesting, the two largest manufacturers of the silver colloidal spray that goes onto the solar cell, the two biggest silver users for solar cell consumption, said they're switching to copper. Just came out. Market has been breaking off of it all day. Most people are wondering what's going on. All the metals have been down, but silver just had a tremendous break. And what we're looking at is they're going to try to shift over to copper. Now, I've been doing my research for a while because I've been watching the price of silver go up, and I've been thinking this was going to happen. Why do I want to? It's sort of like we went from the platinum palladium shift in spark plugs. Now we're looking at the shift from silver to copper in the spray itself to absorb solar energy to convert it into electricity. So the first thing is that copper isn't as conductive as silver. So we're going to see the solar cells themselves producing less energy. I find that interesting. We're going to have to watch that closely. I haven't gotten the numbers yet on the potential production. I will get that to you when it comes out. The second thing is this. Copper breaks down more readily than silver. Silver lasts a long time. So in my mind, we're going to have less production from the solar cell, and we're going to have longevity drop back as well. And that to me is telling me that this is going to be a very interesting shift, and we're going to have to see what the value of the solar cells are going to be. And if it doesn't work out, are they going to come back to silver again? And at what price are they going to have to re-enter? So right now we're looking at an entire shift in the silver consumption going into the colloidal spray, which isn't as large as a lot of people think it is, but it is consumption. So right here on this show last year with Steve, I renamed silver from a precious metal to a technical metal. And I started referring it to as the technical metal and the usage of it going into electric cars, solar cells, and just the lead silver combination for soldering joints inside of laptops, computers, things of that nature. So we're going to see if one of the larger users in China is going to drop away and go to copper.
Yeah, and when I look at Dr. Copper in general, right, has always been a very wild machine in itself. The buyers and the sellers, you don't always know what's going to happen there, and of course the widow makers themselves. But when you look at silver and gold, every time we've had a massive run like this, we've always had a massive crash right in the back end of that, Peter, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Things don't go straight up. Things, castles built to sand. Look at it. Costs a lot of money to rally a market, Steve.
And how much money?
Well, let's put it this way. Everybody was running around in circles, waving their hands around, going, oh, they're stealing all the gold from Venezuela. They're going to bring it in and it's going to crash the market. It's 110 tons, 110 metric tons that they're going to be bringing. And that's maybe $23 billion. We're looking at trillions international deficit. It's not a big deal. So it's not as much as you'd think. Let's put it that way. We are in a smaller market, Steve.
Yeah, and what's interesting is I love this for one reason only. This has actually given retail traders the ability to get a taste at what's going on in the commodities markets and the futures markets that they have never had in the past, right? This is giving them a good taste of, and one of the cool things about AU Secure is you can actually buy physical from you guys. This is not just about a trading recommendation, right?
Well, that's the thing. The thing is that a lot of stock traders and IRA holders, they don't want to dip their toe into futures. I mean, look at the percentages and the risk. They say to us, look, I want to get involved in silver, but I'm not buying a futures contract. I don't want 5,000 ounces. I want maybe 1,000. Pete, can you send me 1,000? I'll throw them in my gun safe. I'm happy. And we've been doing that since $17, Steve. And a lot of our guys have called us and said, hey, you want it? And we say, hey, if you bought it from us, we buy it back. So,
Peter, gun safe silver is not the same as all the derivatives that are flying around here, right? I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy talk, with silver, right? You got to be telling me that is there no more silver in the ground? Is that what we're looking at here, or is it they can't mine it fast enough? Is Mexico having problems getting it out?
Well,
what's going on?
I mean, that's first off. You asked me about 4 big questions there. First off, let's talk about the Zihuatanejo meeting and Samsung going down to Mexico and going, hey, we're no longer going to wait to produce it. We're going to buy silver directly from the mines of Mexico. This has never happened before. This is brand new territory. So yeah, we're seeing large nationalized companies buying directly from the mines. Steve, this is new territory.
The guy that helped with the Hunt brothers back in the 70s was you, right?
Yeah.
That was a nutty time, right?
Oh, it was crazy.
How does this time compare to that time?
It's different, and I'll tell you why. It's more mechanized. When I was standing on the floor and, we had 100 guys standing in a circle screaming in each other's face, fighting for that same piece of meat, it had a different feel to it, and this is, 68% algo buying. So when a market starts to get direction, the computers are jumping on it and it runs harder than it used to when guys like myself would step up and say, buy them versus, or sell them. We had more hands-on control of a market. Whereas here, it's someone in Switzerland's computer is buying, and we don't know what the real reason behind it is other than the velocity and the direction.
Yeah. And that's a great question. I mean, the words crypto and the words commodities have never really been the same sentence, but the blockchain and tokenization of possibly metals could be a whirlwind changer, right? And do you expect to see that anytime soon?
Absolutely. And if you remember, Steve, on Quasar Markets, on your platform, I came on and told everybody at 118,000 in Bitcoin, I said, start cashing the Bitcoin, send me the money, and we'll buy the gold. Now, the gold was at, right in the 2000s. So everybody missed that gigantic break and ended up catching the piece of that rally. So, yeah, there is an interrelationship there, and we just happened to catch that one right. And I know that's what you were thinking about.
100%, man. All right, so the big mic drop was about silver. And you definitely called copper. You nailed the copper trade again. So you've nailed them all. Let's go fast forward 6 months in the future. Greenland become part of the United States, Venezuela. If you ask me, and the history of books tells you that when you're looking at hedging against your portfolio of stocks and bonds, and you move it into crypto, and into commodities, and moving into things that protect your portfolio. What's going to happen in 6 months to a year? Are we still going to see higher prices of gold and silver and copper, or is this the end of it?
Well, I think the important thing here, Steve, is that when you say commodities, remember, these are physical things. We're talking plywood, cattle, gold, silver. These are things that are real, tangible. You buy a share in NVIDIA, it's an entry. Whereas with silver, gold, these are things that, name how many mines have opened in the last 30 years that are producing silver. 0. Okay, there isn't one large silver mine in America that's open. So we've fallen into this crevasse of 4.5, almost 5 years now that we're in 2026, of being in a deficit production for silver. So there's less real product around.
And when I look at this run from 19 to 80 plus,
right,
it just seems to be out of whack. It just seems to be tulips, right? In a lot of ways, but it's really not, right? I mean, is this not a tulip situation?
Well, I don't see anybody coming in and eating the bulb, and if someone did, it would certainly be me, So, but I'm looking at it this way. What happened was, all of a sudden, everybody looked around and said, "Wait a minute, we've got electric cars. We're moving into AI consumption. We're going to build new reactors." By the way, here's a number for our viewers: 55,000 ounces of non-recyclable silver goes into a new nuclear reactor. So we start building reactors. Where's the metal coming from? We don't have mines here, So are we going to go to China? China's saying, "Wait a minute. Hold the boat here. We're not selling to you. Now we're in Peru." Well, Peru isn't the number one producer. Their prices are going to go higher. So to answer your question, downstream wise, if we see steady consumption and lack of production, the physical is going to continue to go higher. Not even a question.
Love it. All right, Pete, you've given us the mic drop. Silver. I love it.
Yep.
All right. One last question, Pete. How was your holidays?
Oh man, it was great. My one son was at the United Nations for many, many years and posted there, and he was in Thailand. And my other son's doing some research for B.F. Goodrich, and then my daughter's a doctor, and she's in Reno. So we all kind of Zoomed, so waved at each other, that kind of thing. But it was nice. It was quiet. I didn't do anything crazy. I'm gonna try to take a couple trips here this year. I've been invited offshore. My following in the Middle East wants to see me, and so yeah, it was great. How about you?
I had a great one. Quiet, and probably needed a few more drinks, but didn't quite get there, but a good one. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Thomas, my friend Pete, chairman of AU Secure. You can buy metals right from Pete, not just crypto, stocks and bonds, actual physical stuff. You can buy gold and silver, rhodium, platinum. You can get stuff you can't get anywhere else because Pete's the man in Chicago. So, Pete, until next time, we'll see you Quasar Markets Live.
Happy New Year, Steve. Yeah, thanks for having me.